Hey everyone, this is Lucid. Welcome back. We are hopping back into our LA-Ulm. We're still in initial expansion. It is turn 9. Or, what is that? Early winter? Yeah, so we have a message from Utgard saying Lemuria's cap is at 100. I see him as far as 160 in your direction. I do not believe that you'll be neighbors with him unless another nation falls. He should border every other nation, so there's a fair chance at a coalition forming. And from Erythrea, or however you say it, Erythea. Greetings, Ulm. I see we border each other, so I figured it's best to discuss diplomatic relations. Okay, and then we have some battles, so let's check those out. This is the 40 PD. I mean, the 40 heavy infantry and militia province. And honestly, I probably would take this without my wolves, but I can't not send wolves in. Well, I probably could have, but yeah, because I brought them with the wolf herd. I was worried. I should have been so worried. I killed these with minimal losses without the wolves, but I guess I probably would have like 4 or 5 of these guys. Maybe it's worth sacrificing them. Yeah. Okay, well, they should route. Unfortunately, some of my guys routed because they're big wusses. So if we look at the battle report for that one, I lost my wolves, and then I lost 2 of my infantries, because, yeah. My infantry's I probably lost more of them. They die pretty freaking hard when confronted with crossbow fire. So, yeah. This is the Barb province, and this can kind of go either way. Hopefully you rout them before they get into combat with you. That is the goal. If they do not rout, then you're going to take heavy losses. So we're kind of rolling the dice here. They're getting pretty close. We can get one more volley. But as they get closer, okay, they just failed a morale check. As they get closer, we get a little more accurate. Okay, you can see we're taking some losses. We do so much damage. We have such good attack with these guys. So we do... Yeah, okay, they're routed. Okay, and then I think this we took with no losses, so that was nice. Yeah, so that's basically it. We now see we border Marignan, who ended horribly. They are 1, 2... They could have these provinces. I don't think they do, from things other people have told me, but they're just this big. So when it's winter and you only have 2 provinces, there's been a major failure. We see commanders here too, which means they're probably building a fort. So I seriously thought about raiding, just because... I mean, when you have a naked temple, what's probably very low PD, and yeah, just a lonely commander, which usually, especially two commanders, it means you're probably building a fort. So yeah, it's hard to pass on the opportunity to raid something like this, but versus a good player, they would, like, if they saw me see this, they would put lots of troops here and put PD in it, expecting that I would raid. But I'm a nice guy, and if you have a hard start, I don't love capitalizing on it, just like immediately flash raiding a smaller nation, as other people are prone to do. And I don't really want him to be weak, so like Lemuria can come up and eat his other stuff. I would rather him like expand and do this work for me and fill this up and fight Lemuria, since they are rapidly growing from the chat to be a huge threat, taking over the lake and then part of this island that Miklin's on. And so here's 100. This was Utgard's message telling me this is where Lemuria's cap is, and Utgard said he's somewhere up in here. So yeah, I do not want Lemuria to get super big. They're one of the hardest, most cancerous nations to fight, and they're very fun to play. I'm actually kind of set up well to fight him, but I don't really want to. So we'll see. What else? So this turn we're going to be attacking this province. There are some heavy cav, kind of the time you wish you had some wolves, which I killed off. So we'll be attacking that. We should be able to take it, but we may take some losses, especially in our front line. human, even heavily armored human troops die pretty damn quick to any kind of heavy cav charge. These guys will be moving back. I think we're going to try to take these provinces we kind of skipped over. That's kind of their plan. This fortress is almost up. We got 1 turn left, and then this lady is indeed coming up here to build a lab. This will be my first blood hunting site, and I need to get that online because my god is coming in just 3 turns. So I'm not going to have any... Ideally, you want to have like some blood slaves, like maybe even 45, available when your god comes online so you can start vampire counts immediately, but that's not really practical. I've never hit that timing in a game. What I have been able to do is by like 2 or 3 months after my god's up, we have our first vampire count. So it's still definitely worth going in. My god actually is... I don't normally like blood hunting my capital, but I definitely will to get vampire counts early because my blood has really high blood. My pretender god has pretty high blood, so he is a very good blood hunter. So I generally will put him on that job. Meanwhile, we're going to start scouting. I'm not very good at building scouts, but I also don't have a ton. So like a lot of people, when you find a scouting province, you'll just go like this and get them for forever. I kind of hate the micro of moving them around, and they tend to die. So I do scouts, but I do fewer than others, which is not a strategy I would advise. I probably should do some more. I'm just kind of, in that one regard, lazy, though I'm usually not lazy about other stuff. Oh yeah, here we're recruiting wolflords and then a commander, because we're going to have a big crew here, which we can either attack one of these thrones, or we can just move them up here, because I think Pythium's up in this direction, so I need to move my troops out and go ahead and cordon off this land. I really don't want these to be someone else's. I really want these to be mine. So we'll see. These ones up here I care much less about, but we'll see. Yeah. So that's basically it for this turn. Next turn is turn 10, and it should be midwinter. And we have a message from Utgard. Oh, I didn't show you guys diplomacy. Let me go ahead and show you what I did on turn 9. It's like the thing I always forget. So here my message is going out. Marignan. Greetings, proud people of Marignan. We see the expansion has indeed been a bit slow for you. We'll make sure not to encroach upon your cap ring. What news do you have for the peoples of Ulm? And then to Erythra, indeed, we have no ill will towards the proud mer people of Erythra, especially given your nation's particular aptitude for dealing with the Lemurian cancer that needs to be rid of in this world. How's your early expansion going? What are your intentions? If we are to oust Lemuria, I butchered this, but basically I'm trying to say we need to oust Lemuria, but we don't border them, so maybe we can provide assistance through gem trades and naps. And finally, a message to Utgard. Okay, actually I'm not going to show that. It's got the player name in there, and I don't really like showing player names, but basically I'm telling telling Utgard that the player playing Lemuria is a really good player, and so he should be especially careful and not assume that he's just getting lucky expanding to be enormous in the first year, but that he's actually good. And then with Micklin, I see that we're neighbors. How's your expansion gone? Perhaps we can work together. So just generally friendly stuff to Micklin. I hear Micklin's kind of getting eaten by Lemuria, like Lemuria's already come up and been attacking him. So anyway, that's basically it. Back to turn 10. So turn 10, we have another message from Utgard. Micklin lands the first blow against Lemuria. I don't think any of us were quite ready. Maybe he has magic weapons. So I think Utgard saw a province trade hands, and then we have the Rangers of Ulm getting, wrecking these guys. So there are heavy cav here. I was expecting to take more losses, but apparently there's not many. There's only 3 heavy cav, so we can handle that. Now, you can see because I put my guys so far back, my melee guys just barely made it to the front line. It turned out to be okay, but it's a little risky. Okay. That's not bad. Yeah. Just a couple rangers, which actually, if we watch the battle report, I don't think that's what happened. I think the guys we lost in this case were our frontline dudes. Yeah, see, we these guys, but then the cavalry in the battle report hits. Like, it's almost like every single battle is wrong. So it would be nice if the developers could figure out how to get the battle to, like, have the same seed or whatever, so that it generated the same replay. Okay, and so this is Marignan attacking to the Independence. I believe this is the throne, and he might have tried to attack it before, that's why it's a little weak. But fortunately, he ends it before these guys get off the battlefield, so he doesn't get any routed troops, but he loses about half his dudes. So not very efficient expansion, but he is now 50% bigger, having 3 provinces now. We see that indeed he does not have this one. I don't know about these 2 down here, but it's possible, I don't know. And this isn't, I mean, this is kind of hard. It's militia, and then probably like 10 heavy cab and probably like 5 light cavalry, if I had to guess, just from looking at the picture. You can kind of get a sense. So this is not really that hard to take, and this is probably a really high income province. So I don't know. We had an unexpected event, unrest. Wolves have been heard howling at the moon. I can't remember this. Maybe you're about to get attacked by Indies. Some of these events, if you read them, you have something ominous like this, it can mean that there's an event queued up to come afterwards. And importantly, we have our first palisade complete. I didn't mention this last time, but because I had already been building a lab here, I had already queued this up for recruitment. So this guy will finish this turn, whereas normally he would take 2 turns if I had to wait for the fort to come up, so I get him a little early. We're building a temple here too, and that's because I do want to make, out of my forts, I want to make mostly priests, and then where I do, like here I'm building this lab. This will be my first blood hunting site. Once I have the lab built, I'm going to be putting up my members of the 2nd tier, and from all my non-fort labs, I'll be making them much more slowly, but these guys are just such the better, basically the better mage. They just are so good. And they're not super efficient researchers, but we're not really interested in efficiency. We're interested in power. Yeah. I will have a use. These are my... I took... Did I take magic skills? I have 1 magic. So, these, cost or research per gold, these are probably my best. I haven't really done the math. But, yeah, these are definitely going to be the best for me, research per gold. And in terms of upkeep, we can see these are, for me, they're going to be 8 research points per year for 60 gold a year. And then meanwhile, these guys are going to be 64 for... Okay, these are about equivalent in upkeep. They're actually slightly better in upkeep. But these are probably my worst upkeep. Cost per... These are 120, but they definitely don't give me twice as much. So, for converting dollars into research, these are going to be the cheapest, both in terms of nominal, like how much you pay up front, and then in terms of long term, these guys are going to be the cheapest, it looks like, by a little bit. Yeah, but these guys are also just so powerful. I will be getting probably some of these guys because they're spies, which is nice. And Astral 1, they can do a lot of things. They can be slaves in communions. They can magic duel people. Like Utgard has a bunch of Astral 1 mages who are way more expensive than mine. So I can just magic duel them, and it'll be essentially equal, except I have to spend a gem. Lemuria also has Astral Mages, which I may want to magic duel. So yeah, we're going to be trying to kill these guys. Now, it says only 50, but it said like 70 last time, so it's probably more than 50. I could lose this. Yeah, but I'd have to get kind of a skirmish formation now, which is nice. I probably should move these guys a little farther forward. But we'll see, because my guys aren't very heavily armored, and slingers are actually okay against lightly armored units, like my archers. Yeah. And I probably shouldn't do hold and attack. I probably should just do attack, because I kind of do want them to get into combat. I don't know. This is a bit tricky. I might not should have done. And then this, we knew it was here. It looked like only 40, and so I got lured in, I think, by the small amount of units appearing, but I know there's more than 40. But here's my thinking. So we put a bunch of these guys on the front. They're going to be firing. I know there's going to be a little bit of skelly spam, but probably not too much. And then we've got these guys on a sparse line, so they get hopefully a little less friendly fire from me. And they're going to be marching forward. And the wolves will hopefully kind of come in and flank. That's the idea. And so, see how that actually plays out. Meanwhile, these guys are going to move up here. They do have a small army here, so yeah, I don't think they'll attack me, but we'll see. So these guys are going to move in position, and then I've also started recruiting guys here, so potentially next turn, like he's going to build a temple, I could have him go and bring some troops and meet up here with these guys. That's kind of the thinking. In terms of PD, doing 6 everywhere except for the place where I have 10, which is my palisade. I want to get more forts up too. I think this will probably be a fort. That way it'll have a pretty good resource pool to suck from, and then this will probably be a fort too. Once I take it, it'll get a good ring of things to suck from. So, I could also, I'm thinking about putting a fort here too. It's probably why I'm going to move a scout here. But I'm not really sure. Marignon hasn't responded back yet to Dip, which may mean bad intentions. Go ahead and check the next turn. The next turn is turn 11. Okay, a messenger has arrived from Marignon. Turn north, but not east. Marignon requires more than a cap ring, irrespective of inadequacies of its early expansion. And but requires more than just a cap ring. So what? Let's try to figure out what this means. I think he's saying, oh, I recruited some militia here to sit in front. I don't know what he's saying, but maybe he's planning on attacking me. This is probably a little bigger army than it was the turn before. Because, like, if I give him his cap ring, then he should expand down here into Lemuria. Like, we can already see Lemuria here. But maybe he wants to try to take my shit, which would be a really, really bad idea. Message from Utgar. I can count at least 20 provinces, though he's likely to have a few more. He should run into Erythrea soon if he hasn't already. He's made it into Abyssia's cap circle. Abyssia pushed him out this turn. Yeah. So Abyssia expanded poorly, Marignon expanded poorly, and Mictlan expanded poorly. And then Erythrea seems to be okay. I think their cap is right around here. But they're not giant. I don't know how much of the ocean they have, but we really need Erythrea to own the ocean. That would be most useful. Oh, we had a battle here. Looks like we lost. So, this is unfortunate. Okay, it looks like the cavalry is targeting my archers, which is... now they're switching to the wolves somewhere, which is nice. And it seems like my guys are targeting my wolves also? Yeah, what the hell? That was like 2 volleys aimed squarely at my wolves. It wasn't like strays. Oh, and then they're targeting individual skeletons coming at them. That's super efficient. So this was something that was supposed to be fixed. That these guys would not target individual units that were just closest to them. They would target kind of blocks of units. So shouldn't be like that, but it turns out it is. And we rout, which is unfortunate, but the good news is they routed too, and we got them all off the field before we routed. So, oh wait, whoops. Let's watch this. This is our second one. This is the Jaguar tribe, which, this is kind of a lot of troops. And these guys, oh, they have slings. Okay, so that's going to be a lot of archer fire coming in. Yeah, we don't like that at all. So look at that. These slingers are just wrecking dudes. Now it's died back a bit. Yeah, so we took a lot of damage there. But now it says we were beaten. And there's a single dude left when, like, we squarely won. So this is really, really, really annoying. Because it happens, like, every battle. Yeah. It would be super nice. I'm gonna, like, officially put a complaint into the devs, because this is really annoying. Like, I squarely win the battle. I mean, it was close. But, like, okay, like, I won. None of my guys retreated. And then, yeah. Rip indies. So, like, what's the point of having a battle replay if it doesn't show what actually happened? Because it's like, oh, you won, except you lost horrifically. Anyway, we're going to be retaking this, and then we're going to be sending in more troops to take this, which we should, since it's just a bunch of conjurers. There will be no front line to stop us, and hopefully we kill a large amount of them in the initial swath. So I put a bunch of my ranged dudes up front, and then these guys are going back in. I have some guys stranded out here, so hopefully we'll pick them up in a bit. And then hopefully we can attack here turn after, but we'll see. That is my plan. We have our temple up, so we can start getting these guys. I don't have them yet, but our fortress is also one turn away. So this turn, I'm going to be getting a commander, and he'll take these guys and move them somewhere, like probably up into here. I think that's one turn since it's on a road, and then we'll switch over to forge priests. I mean, to our black priests. Events. Yeah. Still, this province again got the, like, weird howling at the moon. There's a bunch of moon stuff going. I should kind of look that up. And I think that's a turn in for this episode. So next episode, we'll see the attack here. I'll take this. And then hopefully I can get my expansion parties out here, and we will hear back from Marignan what this means, this business. Okay, thanks everyone for watching, and see you guys next time.